So Taylor stays with us. Jackie Perez joins us from CTV Regina. How are you doing, Jackie?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're outstanding. You good, Taylor?
I'm great.
Good.
Hungry for a burger?
Coffee row. Yeah, I am getting hungry now.
Everybody's hungry for burgers now this morning. Well, let's start there.
It's looking at that poll. I want to change my mind now. I didn't realize Avenue was up there.
Yes.
Bushwhacker.
Yeah.
I haven't had the Ice House yet. So.
And it's not close to your work at CTV. It's in White City.
Yeah. But I usually go the other way.
Fair enough.
Towards Bushwhacker.
Oh, I got
Avenue.
you. Oh, it's Avenue with the 3, not the Avenue, says Cal. Oh, my bad. Sorry. Well, just take him off the poll.
Oh, that's harsh.
That's harsh.
They were on the way to deliver you a fresh burger. Turn it around.
So I first met Jackie Perez when she was at CTV PA, my old stomping grounds, and I think you would agree with me. It is a very, very special place.
Yes,
Prince Albert, Saskatchewan.
I loved working and reporting out in that city. Very much like you said, it was very special, and they had a great year, I would imagine.
Oh, yes, they did.
Year.
Winning the WHL championship. But I got to ask you what it was like, because you're a Toronto girl.
Yeah.
We're going to get into your whole story here. Argos cheerleading captain, right?
One of them, yeah.
Yeah. Got your Grey Cup ring with you somewhere.
Somewhere.
But you came down to Regina. We went for lunch at Famoso. And when you went back to PA after that weekend, I'm like, she going to stick out in that town like crazy, which you must. Right?
It was such
You're this
a blast.
bouncy television girl, bubbly. Not that everybody in PA is not.
Everyone is.
Everybody's bouncy and bubbly in PA. What was it like being there for you as a Toronto girl?
Okay, so I moved there December 2017, and I remember my news director saying, it's going to be a bit of an adjustment, and I get 3 questions. You came from Toronto. What are you doing in PA?
Yep.
How have you adjusted? And you're leaving very soon, aren't you? And I just landed a weekend.
Same. Yeah, within days.
Right? And you know what? I loved it. The fact that it was so close to the parks and the lakes. I did not know the amount of lakes and the amount of the boreal forest was just out here in Saskatchewan, hidden gems. So the opportunity to go out to Waskesiu, to hear the history. There's so much history up there that nobody or not many people outside of this province knows about, that I had an opportunity to explore that. And then never paid attention to WHL, sadly. But when I came there, I was like, cool, I'm going to learn it here.
It's a thing.
It's amazing. And the people in the community and the organization with the Raiders were just so open and welcoming. So it was really nice to see them do really well this season.
Well, we call them, when I lived there, it was voice of the Raiders, Little Montreal. It's just, and not maybe Little Toronto because you're a Toronto girl. The Raiders are a huge deal. Yep. In PA.
Absolutely. So it was really great to cover the beginning of their run because I moved here in October. And when I got the job called, hey, you want to move to Regina for CTV Morning Live? I was like, and it was really tempting. I was like, I really want to stay for the Raiders. I was like, should I go? I was like, you should go. I was like, you're right.
Here, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I got something. I could feel it. But no, I'm really glad I came out here and now I'm exploring the Queen City. And now we are talking burgers, where to go, what to do. So I love it.
I can't wait. And by the way, we're not going to wrap up at noon and have an answer. We'll tell you tomorrow who's won Regina's best burger poll. Vote now at Rod Pedersen Show in Taylor Shire. We're 2 small town Saskatchewan kids here. So you jump in any time, Taylor. That's why I slipped into PA. Nobody noticed I came. Nobody really noticed I left. Do you know what I mean?
I don't believe that.
No, it's true.
Do they still think you're there?
Yeah. Well, when I go back there, I got so many some of the best friends now are still my friends from PA.
There's great people in PA.
And the best thing is they're watching this show now. From Robin, we definitely miss you here in PA.
Hey, Robin?
Are you talking to me?
No,
Robin, they're talking to you.
Who are we talking about here?
I think they miss Taylor Shire right now.
I didn't work in PA, but
that's hilarious.
But he knows you. Robin's looking out for you.
That's great. Robin, who's named our viewers and listeners the Rod Squad. Robin, we appreciate that. So let's jump to the Argos. Let's just get right to it. Argo fan or Rider fan? You must get it all the time.
All the time. Moving here, everyone's like, oh, you got to wear green. I was like, I don't know if I look good in green. Definitely Riders fan and CFL fan, I should say.
Right.
I asked me 7 years ago, Riders bleed blue. Moving here, I was like, nope, you're going to embrace the Riders. And I found super exciting the minute I landed all the way northern Saskatchewan, how cool was it that people were wearing CFL gear,
Unreal.
Riders gear, and I was like, it's everywhere. I was like, oh, it's not even a game day, and
Not
everyone's
even just a
rocking
game
it.
day, exactly.
Where I find, and that was a big change for me. Where even if it was game day, sadly in Argos, sometimes you only see it in pockets, right? But here it's just everywhere. And I mean, I drove down from PA on game days last year. I think I made it out to 5 games, living out in PA and coming out here and watching it, and the experience.
There's a lot of them that do.
Yeah, and the experience, the stadium, the
It's like the 401 coming down Highway 11 on
know
game,
what?
a couple
Like
hours
it.
before game day.
from PA. Yeah, well, that's double 401, right? I hate the 401.
Sorry.
But yes.
A very small 401.
a very small 401.
But it's
the
busy.
distance was just as long, 4 hours. I was like, oh, that's nothing. Everyone's like, you drove 4 hours.
Well, you got to take us deep inside this Toronto football thing, because people think out here that people in Toronto don't like football, and that's wrong. And somebody said to me recently, within the last couple of years, they're like, Rod, some of your closest friends are whom? Luke Mullender, CFLer from Toronto. Mike Abu-Meshrik, CFLer from Toronto. Dan Rasevich, CFLer from Toronto. Like, they love football in Toronto. That is a misnomer. Why do they get a bad rap?
I don't know if it's the bad rap. It's just there's so many Toronto sports teams, right? And like for somebody living and talking to friends who are in the industry or who even like are just sports fans, it's like, okay, I've got season tickets to the Raptors. I've got season tickets to Argo or Blue Jays. Who else? You've
Leafs.
got the Leafs. You've got TFC. Like, where are you going to allocate your money and still live in the city without being broke? Right? I know when the Blue Jays, they did so well that run that they did. I remember it was like late October. We're going out every night, or like we're going to the games, and I'm just like, I'm just so broke. Why? Like,
Yeah.
where's all my money going to all these games to celebrate? Because there's so many Toronto teams to pick and choose from that you're not going to go to all of them, and you're not going to see as much out there. So
I think even here, you always ask people, oh, are you a Rider fan? If they say no, what's wrong with you? But if you would never do that in Toronto, oh, are you an Argos fan? No. Oh, who do you
Okay.
cheer for then?
right.
But here, if you're not a Rider fan, there's something wrong with you.
Well,
If you're here, right?
Well,
And that's what it is.
Because it's embedded in you.
And
from
that's what I mean.
early
So
age, right?
so we that's why the attendance issues are here, because everybody is supposed to be a Rider fan and supposed to go to the games where there's options in Toronto. And you don't
Absolutely.
have to be an Argos fan.
Well, there's
don't
a
feel
feeling
guilty.
amongst CFL people in Toronto. I've talked with them about it, and I've certainly sensed it, that it's hopeless. Some of them think that that it's hopeless. And Jackie, that's why I was excited to talk to you this morning. If you were the Argos, or if you were the CFL, what would you do? Because pinball, I get.
Love pinball.
You don't
Best
see pinball,
ambassador.
and here's why. Pinball has a new career, and he's crushing it. And it's not a public one, but he's doing very well. So pinball's fine, folks. The Argos need him more than he needs the Argos, I guess. But Ricky Foley, we had him on last week. Here's Ricky in his tank top and his tattoos everywhere, and he looked great. And not like he's doing nothing. He's doing land development, and he's busy. But I'm like, here's two guys. Ricky Foley is exactly the kind of guy you'd want to market if you were the Argos. And Ricky's like, I'm busy enough. I'm going to be a dad. I just don't. But those would be guys that I'd be pulling in, putting them on billboards, getting them out doing stuff. But again, I'm a farm kid from Milestone, Saskatchewan. What the hell do I know about Toronto? So I want to ask you.
Right, but
What would you do?
it's knowing who they are, right? And I think that's the question constantly, like, how do you engage fans? How do you unite fans? And because Toronto is so diverse and it has so many people in it, it's picking and choosing that demographic. Who is your demographic? Are you reaching out to? How do you reach out to the new fans without isolating the older fans? Because a lot of these fans, they don't live in that city anymore. They're living 2 hours away, 3 hours away, 4 hours away. So if you talk about attendance, well, they're still commuting in. And they're not going to be going in every single game. If a game's on a Thursday night, if a game's on a Wednesday, like on a weekday, they're not making that commute. I know some dedicated fans have in the past, but like that gets really expensive, right?
But they do it for the Leafs.
But they do
and the
it.
Jays and the Raptors. That's
Yeah.
the only thing I don't
During
understand.
the weekday or the weekend, it's just
Whenever, I don't know. I'm not
scheduling,
from
right?
there. Yeah, it's scheduling. So they would do it
That
on the
could be
weekends.
one reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's finding that balance between getting the new fans in, but also maintaining those old
There's
without
only 9
isolating the
games,
both.
though.
Well,
And 41 home games in the NHL.
and when does it happen? In the summer. Everyone's out
100
vacationing.
or 81 in baseball. There's only 9. You only have to do 9 games. I know they've tried to make it more family friendly. They had wasn't there a preseason game at like 11 o'clock on a Monday?
Yeah, adversity
Like for
this
all
year
the kids.
Yeah.
with all the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it trying to make it more family friendly? So to have it at maybe
Well, it's always
noon
been
on a
family
Saturday?
friendly. Like, and I mean, they have like they
and then
find
have
different ways.
have like a family pack of tickets, like
They have all of those.
Yeah. So, but that's what they're trying to do.
Right.
And I think that's maybe where they do grow is offer cheaper tickets, make it a family.
Well, it's time, right? It's time.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be there. It's just, there's so many things going on in the city that how do you pick and choose? Yeah. Something's going to fall off the map.
But as my question, and Clark's telling me we only have a minute, if you were the Argos, what would you do? Because a lot of very smart people have gone through there and not been able to figure it out. And I'm not putting you on the spot necessarily, or maybe I am putting you on the spot.
What would they do?
What would you do? I don't know, because you can't give up.
You can't. But and I don't think they have, right? I mean, I've known people who've been on the organization for 30 years. I think them joining MLSE has helped a lot because you have a lot more resources. You have a lot more manpower behind that, and resources to get a better market or a bigger market, and incorporating them into that MLSE world with the Raptor fans, with the Leafs fans and the TFC fans, like just making it all one Toronto sports market.
Yeah, well, imagine if they weren't part of that. They would literally be. Well, they weren't.
They weren't 2-3 years ago.
And where was it going? Not good. This is the best thing for them. You're right. And we'll talk about those Argos when we come back. Looking back at Week 4 in the CFL. We'll get to those scores and more. And update the poll results today. The Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center daily poll. What is Regina's best burger? Bond Burger, Ice House, Avenue, and Bushwhacker. And Jackie Perez of CTV has her secret as to how to know where the Bond Burger truck is. We'll talk to you about that and more when we come back. It's the Rod Pedersen Show, Facebook Live. Listen live at rodpedersen.com, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of the Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.